Hello, MCC supporters. I'm joining you from my home in Winnipeg today to talk about MCC and particularly in this COVID time. It's a time, I think we'd all recognize, it's a time that is challenging and difficult for all of us, and MCC is no exception. And as we hear from our partners, the partner organization that MCC works with around the globe, what we hear over and over again is that the economic impacts of COVID-19 and the lockdowns and the restrictions, it's probably what is hitting them and their local communities they're working with the hardest. And it's probably hard to identify any part of their local economies that aren't being affected. Imports, exports, tourism. In many countries, these are all coming to a standstill. Day laborers are unable to get out to the farms and to the places where they normally go to work. And this is significant because in many countries, the income from day laborers makes up more than 50% of the economy. Food consumption is decreasing both in terms of quantity and in terms of quality. Single mothers, we're hearing that they're subject to harassment as many of them are unable to afford to purchase the masks that are required to go out in public. The list of impacts goes on and on. At the same time, we've seen our partners already responding in powerful and creative ways that I don't think we could have been able to predict or to direct, even if we would have wanted. How could we have known that Score Against Poverty, this is a partner organization in Zimbabwe that up until now has worked in agriculture and food security. How could we have known that they would pivot their work to become one of the premier COVID prevention responders in Zimbabwe? How could we have known how powerful the voices of Anabaptist church leaders in places like DR Congo would become in helping their communities to take effective prevention measures? We hear reports of church members saying things like, when our government talked to us about COVID and prevention measures we should take, we didn't really listen to them because it's hard to trust what our governments tell us. But when our own church pastors canceled our worship gatherings, our physical gatherings on Sundays in order to worship, and knowing that these pastors depend on the tithes and the offerings that are collected during these gatherings, that they depend on these for their salaries, then we knew we had to take this seriously. And I would hope that seeing the importance of listening and supporting local voices demonstrated in these crises reinforces again these core values for MCC as we carry out our work. I want to thank you for your generous donations to MCC. We could not do this work without you.